All right. Welcome to the show. So you think you know the White House, that big, beautiful, super famous building down in Washington, D.C.? But oh boy, are you about to have your mind blown? Because we are diving deep into the secrets of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. We're going to uncover tales of secret rooms, and get this, actual underground tunnels. Prepare yourselves for ghost sightings. This is 101 surprising facts about the White House that will absolutely positively blow your mind. We've got history, mystery, and a whole lot of no way, really. Let's do this. Let's go. The White House. It's big, it's grand, it's white. But what if I told you that iconic white is actually a cover-up story? The White House wasn't always white. The original color was gray, constructed from Aquia Creek sandstone, a naturally light gray stone. A lime-based whitewash was applied to protect the stone. After the British set fire to it in 1814, the white coating became even more prominent. Over time it became tradition, and the White House just sounds right. The White House, grand and majestic, was an incredible undertaking in the late 1700s. Construction began in 1792 and took 8 years to complete. The initial cost was $232,371.83. Back then, that was a fortune for a young nation. That amount is equivalent to over $3 million today. They were building a statement, a home for the ages, and they were willing to pay the price. Alright folks, this next secret is a real shocker. Fast forward to 1814, the War of 1812 is raging. The British decided to pay an unwelcome visit to Washington, D.C. They set the president's house ablaze. The building we see today was literally burning to the ground. Dolly Madison famously saved a portrait of George Washington just before the chaos. When the smoke cleared, the beautiful sandstone walls were blackened, charred, and the interior was completely gutted. But Americans are resilient. They decided to rebuild. The original architect James Hoban oversaw the reconstruction. It took another 3 years to make it habitable again. From ashes to awesome, all over again. And that is a testament to the American spirit. The White House was built, then burned, then rebuilt. But here's a twist. George Washington, whose name is on the city, never lived in the White House. He approved the design but passed away in 1799 before its completion in 1800. John Adams was the first resident. Remember Washington, who dreamed it up but never got the keys? What a story! Let's talk about the sheer size of the White House. It's not just a house, it's a mini-city with mind-blowing numbers. The White House has 132 rooms and 35 bathrooms. It also has 6 levels, including a hidden basement. It's absolutely massive. More than just a home, it's a command center, a historical monument, and a fortress. Think about the staff needed to run a place like that. It's the kind of place where you could play hide and seek for years and never be found. Buckle up, folks. The White House cornerstone? Poof! Vanished. Nobody knows where it is. Is it a conspiracy? Did aliens zap it? Did the builders just forget? It's the ultimate historical whodunit. It remains elusive. So, conspiracy or oopsie? You decide. Let me know what you think. Maybe you'll crack the case. You know the White House, right? 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Iconic. But it wasn't always officially called the White House. For decades, it was known by other names like the President's Palace or the Executive Mansion. President Theodore Roosevelt officially designated it the White House in 1901. Before Teddy, people informally called it the White House because it was painted white. Teddy made it official. Now that name is recognized all over the globe. It's a symbol of American democracy, so next time you see that iconic building, give a little nod to Teddy R. Okay, deep breaths. I've got another White House shocker for you. Picture this, the President of the United States, in the White House, making all those super important decisions. In the Oval Office, right? Well, get ready to have your mind blown, because the Oval Office, it wasn't always there. The original plans for the White House? No Oval Office. That credit goes to President William Howard Taft, back in 1909, a big, beautiful oval-shaped office for the president. Well, some say he was inspired by the Blue Room, which is also oval. Taft wanted the executive office to be in the newly constructed West Wing, to separate his workspace from his living space. It was later moved to its current corner location by Franklin D. Roosevelt, who wanted more space and natural light. So it's had a bit of an evolution, this famous oval, and now that Oval Office is arguably the most recognizable office in the entire world. So thank you, President Taft, for thinking outside the rectangular box and giving us the iconic Oval Office. In every spy thriller, there's a super secret escape tunnel. Well, the White House actually has one. This is a real government-approved secret passage. This tunnel connects the White House directly to the Treasury Department building. It was designed for emergency escapes. There's a dedicated subterranean route to get the president to safety. The level of planning is incredible. It's one of the White House's best-kept secrets. It's just too cool. Okay, here's a fun one. The White House has its own exclusive zip code, 20500, just for that one building. It's like having your own personal lane, but for snail mail. That's some serious VIP treatment from the Postal Service. The White House? It's in a league of its own. It's an institution with its own quirks and privileges, right down to its mail. It's got 20500, baby. Gather round because things are about to get spooky. The White House is apparently haunted. Staff and even presidents have reported seeing the ghost of Abraham Lincoln. Honest Abe still roaming the halls. People working in the White House have sworn they've had encounters with Lincoln's spirit. He's often seen in the Lincoln bedroom, sometimes standing by the window, deep in thought. Other times people have heard his footsteps pacing the hallways late at night. It's a spooky thought, but also kind of fascinating, isn't it? Stay tuned because the ghostly tales don't stop with Honest Abe. We've talked about Abe's ghost, but the first person to report seeing a ghost in the White House? First Lady Grace Coolidge. She claimed to have seen Abraham Lincoln standing near the window of his former office, looking out over the Potomac. It legitimized the idea that the White House might actually be haunted. This sighting by a First Lady really cemented Lincoln's ghost as a White House phantom. It's a fantastic piece of White House lore. Grace Coolidge saw Lincoln's ghost, but it gets crazier. Winston Churchill stayed in the Lincoln bedroom. After a late-night bath, he walked out, stark naked, and saw the ghost of Abraham Lincoln by the fireplace. Churchill quipped, "Good evening, Mr. President. You seem to have me at a disadvantage." The encounter freaked him out so much, he refused to sleep in the Lincoln bedroom again. If Churchill was spooked, something weird is going on in that house. Lincoln's ghost is a White House celebrity, but he's not alone. They say the ghost of Andrew Jackson haunts the White House and he rages in the Rose Room. Jackson was a fiery guy in life, so it makes sense his ghost would be a little extra. Staff have heard him swearing, his ghostly boots stomping. Reports of Jackson's ghost in the Rose Room are persistent. People claim to hear unexplained noises, feel sudden cold spots, or even catch a glimpse of his shadowy figure. Spooky, right? We've heard about presidents getting spooked at the White House, but the ghostly guest list goes international. We're talking royalty. In 1942, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands stayed at the White House. Little did she know she was about to have a close encounter of the spooky kind. Queen Wilhelmina is tucked into bed when suddenly she hears a knock. Standing in the hallway was the unmistakable figure of Abraham Lincoln. Reports say the Queen was so shocked she fainted. This encounter adds another incredible layer to the White House ghost lore. The past sometimes knocks on your bedroom door in the middle of the night. So, the White House reportedly has its very own haunted musical instrument. There are rumors of a piano that plays all by itself. Imagine walking down a dimly lit corridor and hearing a faint ethereal melody. No one's there, the lid is closed, but the music plays on. For years, staff members have whispered about these phantom recitals. Can you imagine being a security guard on the night shift and hearing a Chopin nocturne coming from an empty room? So who could this phantom pianist be? Or perhaps it's just the house itself, so full of history that it expresses itself through music. The theories are endless, and that's what makes it so fascinating. We've explored presidential phantoms and musical manifestations. Could the White House be one of the most haunted homes in the United States? From Lincoln roaming the halls to Jackson's tantrums, it's a spectral superstar cavalcade. The sheer volume of ghostly encounters reported by presidents, guests, and staff is hard to ignore. We're talking apparitions, disembodied voices, and self-playing pianos. Is it the most haunted? Considering the high-profile witnesses and historical significance, the White House makes a strong case. It's a historical hotspot and apparently a supernatural one too. The Secret Service has plans for everything. Alien invasion, zombie apocalypse, they've got it covered. A rogue squirrel gets too close to the Oval Office window, there's a protocol. But this next one takes the cake. The Secret Service has a protocol for dealing with ghosts. Somewhere, there's a section on what to do if Honest Abe's ghost decides to photobomb a press briefing. They have to be prepared for literally anything, including things that go bump in the night. Must be able to take a bullet, and also not freak out if Andrew Jackson's ghost yells at you from the Rose Room. Okay, everyone knows pets are a little Different, right? Especially dogs and cats. They say animals have a sixth sense, that they can see things or feel things that we humans just can't. Imagine this spooky sensitivity, but it's in the White House. From FDR's Fala to Biden's commander, these animals have roamed some of the most historic and apparently haunted hallways in America. So when these pets start barking at nothing, or their fur stands on end in a perfectly empty room, you gotta pay a little more attention, right? This has been happening for decades. Pets acting weird in certain parts of the White House, barking, whining, refusing to enter specific rooms. But this is the White House. I'm listening to the dog, people. Got ghosts? Pets freaking out? In the White House, they don't just call anyone. There's a special room where they've tried to encourage spirits to move on. Psychics have been brought in to cleanse the space. Imagine a psychic walking through the Oval Office, sensing residual stress. Did it work? This adds another layer of quirky history to the White House. The White House has seen it all, sometimes in unexpected ways. Only in America. The White House hosts important people. World leaders, dignitaries, maybe even rock stars. But have you ever stopped to think about feeding all those people? Their kitchen can serve a formal sit-down dinner to 140 guests. The pressure is immense. Everyone there is super important. Everything has to be perfect, synchronized, like a delicious, well-orchestrated ballet of food. An army of chefs. It's a culinary command center. Culinary artists create masterpieces. The White House kitchen is the engine room for some of the most prestigious events on the planet. The White House kitchen, truly a national treasure. The White House has its own full-time pastry chef, whose entire existence revolves around creating sugary delights. We're talking about presidential-level pastries. The White House pastry chefs have made chocolate replicas of the White House. Yes, an entire edible White House, all made of delicious, decadent chocolate. Even in the most powerful house in the world, there's always room for some fun and a whole lot of chocolate. Forget the Oval Office, show me the chocolate room. We've got 5-star chefs, gourmet meals, but sometimes even the president just wants a burger and fries. President Bill Clinton was a big fan of fast food. McDonald's was reportedly brought in secretly for him. Operation McDelivery is a go. We need a stealth approach. The President of the United States in the most famous house in the world, enjoying a clandestine quarter-pounder. It proves that sometimes the most satisfying meal is the one that comes in a paper bag, even for the leader of the free world. We're diving back into these White House secrets. This one's pretty cool. We're talking about President Barack Obama. He wasn't just ordering out for his favorite microbrew. Oh no, he decided to bring the brewery in-house. White House Honey Ale. Apparently, some of the honey came from the beehive right there on the South Lawn, part of Michelle Obama's amazing garden initiative. This was presidential-grade, home-brewed goodness. The first president to have an official White House beer recipe. Cheers to that! We talked about President Obama's home-brewed White House Honey Ale. Now let's go back to President Harry S. Truman. Truman's preferred snack? Plain milk and toast. Imagine the White House chefs, ready to whip up a feast, and Truman requests milk and toast. It's endearing, isn't it? Maybe after a long day, that's exactly what he needed. Something simple and normal. Plain milk and toast. Sometimes that's all you need. Alright, we're keeping the presidential food tour going. Now we're talking about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. FDR's favorite? Hot dogs. Imagine state dinners, foreign dignitaries. And FDR is thinking about a juicy frankfurter. It's just so American. In 1939, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth visited the United States. FDR served them hot dogs at a picnic at his Hyde Park estate. The king loved it and even asked for seconds. What's more charmingly American than a hot dog? Alright, settle down folks. We're diving back into the White House kitchen, and this next one, oh, it's a classic. We're talking about President John F. Kennedy. And what's more New England than a big steaming bowl of clam chowder? That's right, JFK absolutely loved New England clam chowder. This was a passion. Get me some chow da, a taste of home right there in the White House. And we're not talking about that Manhattan stuff, okay? No. We're talking creamy, dreamy New England style. A bowl of that chowder was just what he needed. But then there's JFK, probably just wanting a good, honest bowl of clam chowder. It's so relatable. It kind of brings him down to earth, doesn't it? So next time you're having some New England clam chowder, give a little nod to JFK. He knew what was good. Okay, get ready for this one, because it's a presidential food preference that actually made headlines. We're talking about George H.W. Bush. 41st president, great guy, but he had one major food enemy. And that enemy? Broccoli. Yes, broccoli. He didn't just dislike it, folks, he banned. From Air Force One, from the White House, probably from any room he was about to enter. Can you imagine being the White House chef? Alright team, tonight's menu: roasted chicken, potatoes, au gratin, and a lovely steamed... no broccoli. Absolutely no broccoli anywhere near the president. It's hilarious. I mean, think about the power. You're the president of the United States and you can just declare a vegetable persona non grata. I'm president of the United States and I'm not going to eat any more broccoli. He actually said that, publicly. The broccoli farmers of America must have been like, come on man, give it a chance, try it with some cheese sauce. But nope, Bush Sr. was not having it. He said his mother made him eat it as a kid and he was not going to be forced anymore. It's like a childhood rebellion played out on the world stage. It's so funny and so human. This wasn't just a quiet dislike, people. This was a full-blown, public declaration of war on a cruciferous vegetable. Imagine the state dinners. Your Majesty, we have a delightful selection of vegetables tonight, none of which are broccoli, we promise. The sighs of relief from the kitchen staff must have been audible. Kids everywhere probably felt so vindicated. See, Mom? The president hates broccoli too. It's not just me. It probably sparked so many dinner table debates across the country. I wonder if sales of broccoli dipped during his presidency. That's some serious influence right there. It's just one of those quirky, memorable things that makes these powerful figures seem a little more like us. Everyone has that one food they just can't stand, right? For me, it's... well, never mind, but for George H.W. Bush, it was broccoli. Loud and proud, he stood his ground. No broccoli was going to cross his presidential plate. You gotta respect the commitment, even if you're a broccoli lover yourself. What a story, the great broccoli ban of the Bush administration. It's legendary. You just can't make this stuff up, folks. Alright, now from banning vegetables to them. This is a good one. We're talking about First Lady Michelle Obama. Talk about making a statement. She decided the White House needed a garden. Not just a few flowers. No. A full-blown vegetable garden right there on the South Lawn. This was a big deal, people. She got out there, got her hands dirty, and started planting. And it wasn't just any garden, it was the first substantial vegetable garden at the White House since Eleanor Roosevelt during World War II. That's history right there. Talk about a green thumb. This was all part of her Let's Move initiative, encouraging kids and families to eat healthy and get active. And what better way to lead than by example? Hey kids, look, we're growing our own food right here at the most famous house in America. Imagine the school groups visiting, seeing fresh tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, all sorts of amazing things growing right there. It's inspiring. It showed everyone that healthy eating can start right in your own backyard. Or, the White House backyard, which is a pretty big backyard, let's be honest. But the message was clear and powerful. Think about the impact. Fresh organic produce for White House meals, for state dinners, even for local soup kitchens. It was more than just a garden, it was a symbol of health, sustainability, and community. Eleanor Roosevelt did it to promote Victory Gardens during the war, and Michelle Obama revived that spirit for a new generation, focusing on health and nutrition. It's such a cool connection across history. I bet those vegetables tasted amazing, knowing they were grown with such purpose, right there on those historic grounds. Plus, imagine the chefs, fresh basil from the South Lawn. Yes, please. It really changed the conversation around food at the White House. From presidential food quirks and bans to actively promoting healthy eating from the ground up, literally. It makes you think about the power of the White House, not just as a political center, but as a place that can inspire real change in people's lives. Michelle Obama really dug in, got those veggies growing, and left a beautiful, healthy legacy. And who knows? Maybe some of that broccoli George H.W. Bush banned finally made a comeback, freshly picked from the garden. Now that's what I call a full circle moment. Fantastic. The White House, where big decisions are made. Turns out they have not one, not two, but 5 full kitchens. 5 distinct culinary zones ready to whip up anything at a moment's notice. And these aren't just any kitchens, we're talking top of the line. Among those 5 kitchens, there's a special room dedicated to chocolate. A chocolate room. I picture chocolate fountains, chocolate sculptures, maybe even a river of chocolate. What goes on in there? They probably have every kind of chocolate imaginable. Forget Air Force One, I want access to the chocolate room. The White House hides many secrets, including a calligraphy office. Instead of a quick text, invitations to meet the Queen or attend a state dinner require official, classy penmanship. Tucked away in the White House, artists painstakingly craft elegant invitations for the world's most important events. It's a hidden sanctuary of penmanship. The pressure is on these calligraphers to make even the invitation feel presidential. It's a real art form preserved at the White House. This secret calligraphy office isn't just about pretty writing, it's about diplomacy. Picture this, you're invited to the White House. Inside, you'll find color-coded rooms with serious historical vibes. The red room, the blue room, and the green room. Each room has its own deep historical significance and a specific design aesthetic that tells a story. Imagine the conversations that have happened in these rooms over the centuries. So, you've got this trio of colorful, historic spaces, each with its own personality, its own stories to tell. It's a visual feast, a colorful journey through American history. As First Lady, you get to redecorate the Oval Office. Every detail will be scrutinized. It's a chance to put your personal stamp on the most famous room in the world. Most First Ladies jump at the chance. But Melania Trump decided not to redecorate the Oval Office. Wild, right? Everyone expected a new look and she was like, nah, it's fine. Was it a statement? It's definitely a unique footnote in White House history. The White House is fancy, right? But did you know it's basically an art museum too? Serious, high-end, historically significant art. Masterpieces. This art collection is estimated to be worth over $30 million. It speaks to the prestige and history of the nation itself. You've got your classic presidential portraits, of course. Stunning American landscapes. It's a curated collection that tells the story of America. There are curators, conservators, a whole team dedicated to preserving these priceless artifacts. World leaders discussing global policy in a room where a painting worth more than most people's houses is just chilling on the wall. We've talked about ghosts, secret tunnels, bowling alleys, and movie theaters. But deep down, hidden away, there is a dentist chair. A dentist chair in the basement of the White House. Now, the immediate question is, why? Imagine the scene, the leader of the free world reclining back. It's practical, in a very White House kind of way. It's like a tiny city under one very famous roof. This dentist chair is just another one of those amazing, quirky, only in the White House kind of secrets. Open wide, Mr. President. Alright folks, hold on to your hats, because this next White House secret is intense. We're talking about the Situation Room. This is the real deal, the super secure, super secret hub where the biggest, most critical decisions are made. This legendary room is located deep, and I mean deep, underground. It's designed to be completely isolated so the really important hush-hush stuff can go down without any interruptions. The Situation Room is built with thick, and I mean thick, blast-proof walls. It's designed to protect the nation's leadership during the most extreme circumstances. It's where presidents have managed international crises and basically steered the ship of state through some pretty choppy waters. Pretty wild, right? Some White House furniture dates back to the early 1800s. Imagine presidents writing speeches, signing treaties, or even just dreaming in rooms furnished with these pieces. It's like living history you can touch. Presidents like James Madison could have used these very pieces. These aren't just relics, they're meticulously cared for and still part of the White House decor. You're looking at layers of American history embedded in the sofas, tables, and cabinets. Get ready for this. The White House has its own bowling alley. Installed by President Richard Nixon, it's a wonderfully unexpected retro addition. Imagine Nixon and his advisors discussing policy between roles. Even presidents need to blow off steam, and what's better than knocking down some pins? It's a quirky feature that reminds us that even in the most powerful house in the world, there's room for a little bit of everyday fun. It's a home, a workplace, and a place to work on your split spare. Get ready for this. The White House has its own honest-to-goodness movie theater. Imagine the president kicking back with some Raisinets watching the latest blockbuster. This fantastic movie theater wasn't always a place for premieres. Originally, it was a cloakroom. During Franklin D. Roosevelt's time, this ordinary cloakroom was transformed into a cozy cinema. And you just know the popcorn is top tier. Imagine the history that's unfolded right there in the dark, with the projector whirring. Next time you're at the movies, just remember, the president might be doing the exact same thing. But you know, cooler. Let's switch gears to something a little more literary. Bookworms, this one's for you. The White House has its very own library. The White House Library holds over 2,700 books. A significant portion of these books have been handpicked by every president and their families. It reflects the tastes and interests of the leaders who have called the White House home. So, this library isn't just a room full of books, it's a testament to the importance of learning. And that, my friends, is a truly presidential pursuit. Wow, what a ride! We've peeked behind the curtains and gone down hidden tunnels. This place is packed with secrets, surprises, and unbelievable stories. Don't even get me started on the 5 kitchens and the chocolate room. It's like a giant historical funhouse with way more national security. The White House is a living, breathing symbol of American history. It's a place where decisions that change the world are made, where history unfolds every day. It's a story that's still being written, and that's pretty amazing. Drop your most mind-blowing White House secret in the comments down below. Smash that like button and subscribe to Newsstream for more amazing content. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Stay curious.